What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at some neck sleeve accessories that I've just picked up from 1/6 kit for some of my Spider-Man figures. So what I've done, I've thrown them on 3 figures, I've put a head sculpt on, I've put them in a pose, and we're going to take a look and see how they work with the figure. I'll let you know my thoughts and if they're worth the investment. But before we get started, if you like my content, do us a favor, would you? Hit that like button, notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get to it. Okay guys, I thought for this video it'd be fun to take a look at Spidey's main suits from each film in the trilogy, from Homecoming to Far From Home and lastly No Way Home. I popped a sleeve on each figure to attempt to replicate a more screen accurate look and see if it enhances the realism. Another thing I wanted to do was also play around with 3 different standing poses, trying my best to capture unique angles and create a more realistic stance for each figure. How you pose a figure definitely plays a big part in bringing a piece to life. So we'll take a look at the pose I've got each guy in and how the neck sleeve suits the look on each figure and how it works with the head placement and angle you see the pose from on the shelf. For me, posing a figure is an essential part of why I collect. I have a fascination with trying to capture everything from outrageous action poses all the way down to subtle character poses. There's something I love about trying to bring a figure to life through a pose, through a display, or photography. So, that brings me to the beauty of achieving a character pose. Something simple and safe for the figure, yet miles away from a straight up and down out of the box type of look. You may not think it, but when you see a straight up and down out of the box look versus a figure that has had movement and meaning finessed into it, it really does change the whole look of a figure, especially when it comes to a Spider-Man figure. Paying attention on how the body sits in a pose like this is essential. The suit is so tight to his body it can really look flat and lifeless if you don't articulate it. For me, it's all about getting them angles. So for these 3 guys, I wanted to convey 3 different looks which you can easily identify off the bat by how they are standing. They are all facing different ways and balancing differently. The Homecoming Spidey has his left leg forward with his weight on his back right foot. The Far From Home Spidey is balancing his weight on his left foot, assisted with balance on the tippy toes of the right foot out in front. And the No Way Home Spidey, he's standing strong flat-footed. Weight distribution is important not just for balance but also to create a more realistic looking stance for the character. Slight bends in knees, twisting the angle of the legs at the hips, articulating the ankles and foot placement to show gravity and weight is important to convey realism with your pose. Taking a look at the upper bodies. When it comes to the torsos, Spidey figures have separate chest and torso pieces that both move up, down, left and right pretty damn well. So for these, I've intentionally manipulated them in different ways to work with what I did for the lower body. Some key tips when posing the upper body. Changing the height and angle of the shoulder position will change how the arms hang by the sides. Pushing the shoulder up can allow you to get the arm closer to the side with one click in. Other key things like twisting the upper body in the opposite direction to the hips and positioning one side higher than the other can be good things to take note of that can add realism to a pose. For the Homecoming Spidey, I wanted him leaning on that back foot, arms relaxed by his side, neck bent to the right a bit with the head sculpt looking up to the left so the light catches his eyes. It conveys a feeling of wonder and curiosity. For the Far From Home Spidey, this is the battle damaged version. I wanted him more stoic, looking down, posed in a way to convey he had just been in battle. And for the No Way Home Spidey, I've gone for a more standard type of straight up and down, feet flat on the ground, museum type of pose. Okay, so let's take a look at the neck sleeve accessory with the head sculpt on the tech suit Spidey first. For him, I have him looking up to the left, which depending on the angle you view the figure from, reveals quite a bit of the neck. And for me, I really like how this looks. I like it combined with this head sculpt of the mask half off too. For me, it does look more realistic than how he looks when he comes stock with no neck sleeve. The color tone isn't 100% spot on, but it works in my book. Looking at the battle damaged upgraded suit Spidey, For his look, I have him looking down so we can see how it works with the neck sleeve this way. Now, as his face is covering most of the neck from front on, you only get a glimpse of each side, but for me, it's my favourite of the three. I think this look is how I'll be keeping this version of Spidey for a while. I really like how this sculpt and pose works with the neck sleeve to create a more realistic look too. Lastly, the full Peter Parker sculpt on the No Way Home integrated suit. I actually really like this one as well. Having this head at the angle turned sideways across the body allows you to see quite a bit of his neck, but just the right amount, I think. To make it look more natural on this one, I've also posed the neck back to the right shoulder and then forward a bit from there. This creates more curve and doesn't look so straight and unnatural. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So, in conclusion, I have to say I really do like these neck sleeves, and I definitely think they are worth the effort. One thing I will say is, do be careful when you're trying to put them on, as they are tight, and I needed to use some plastic tweezers to help expand them over the top of the neck, just to start trying to get them into position. And that's it, guys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed these poses and review of the neck sleeves for Spidey. I definitely think it makes a difference if you want a more screen accurate look. I thank you all for tuning in, and if you haven't already done so, do us a favor and hit that like button, notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Memberships are also available, so if you'd like to support the channel more, take a look and see if you'd like to join the Iron Legion. Lastly, we got reviews and unboxings, story theme posing showcases, display tips and tricks, plus live streams, including the rundown, where we deep dive into film and TV. But for now, guys, until next time, I'm out.